Except 3 weeks later.
It wasn't 3 weeks. It was November.
Okay, so we're talking 3 months later. So it's starting to get a lot warmer into the summer.
It's warmer.
Yep. Days are longer.
Days are a lot longer.
Yep.
The ice is now getting a little bit fragile. We knew our time of actually travelling on the sea ice was drawing to a close. Mm-hmm. Gloom comes up to me and says, I want to go out to Auster again. Why don't we saddle a dog team and go out there? I said, not interested.
Oh, come on. Look, this is Gloom. He's your best mate. He is your best
Definitely
mate.
not
Every
interested.
adventure you've had has been with Gloom. Yeah. Pretty much. You're throwing him off motorcycles, one thing.
Yeah.
You know. Jeez.
Well, yeah. No, they're not interested. So, was it less than a week later? There we are, setting off.
Okay. So what was the tipping point, Phil?
I think he punched me in the face, actually.
Oh,
no, he didn't. Yeah. For whatever reason, I succumbed, and off we went. Well, this trip.
Here we go, people. You know, we've had the good ones, and now this is going to be the disaster one. Okay. And so middle of November.
Yep.
It's getting warmer.
Early November.
Sorry, early November. Warmer. Sea ice is getting thinner. Have you had a blizzard recently?
Not that I recall.
Do the blizzards happen more during the winter's time, or do they happen any time?
Anytime.
Any time. Okay, there's not sort of a set, like a wet season.
No.
Okay. So, you're just you and Gloom going?
Just us two. We had to get it all okay to go. Just two of us.
Oh, really? I thought you said, we got the dogs, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody has to know what's going on when you do this.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's not the attitude I found when you first started.
If you're heading off on the dogs on a 30-mile trip.
35.
You made sure everybody knew.
And would that be affected by the atmospheric variations? Sometimes when the radio signals go ape.
The radio signals were often very, very bad. There's often more to static in the drift snow more than geomagnetic storms and things like that.
The static in the drift snow?
Yeah. It was so dry.
Oh, wow. So that's an interesting little element. It's like, what? The snow's causing the radios to go off?
That's right.
Okay.
So, off we went, and nothing went wrong.
What? Oh, come on. No fighting, no bloom getting fallen off the back of the thing.
Gloom and I were both experienced on the dogs at this stage,
okay.
So not a problem. We had what I considered the best of the two teams.
Yep. Dan
was the lead. Dan was actually obeying what you said.
Yeah, left boys.
Actually, most of the way.
Left
there
boys.
did come a point where he didn't want to obey us.
Now you say left Dan because you're talking to him.
That's right.
Right. Because I think when David was talking about his left boys as a group.
Their lead dogs weren't trained the way ours were, and that was because.
Which is interesting because there's only about 5 years difference, 6 years difference.
That's right.
So interesting. Yeah.
Anyway, we got out and we made such good time, and the days were so long. We were approaching Macy, and we said, "Actually, we don't need to go to Macy. We've got lots of daylight left. Let's just go straight to the Rookery." Good idea. So
the dog's got to be upset about
that.
The
dogs did not like
what
this.
What the hell? What are you doing now? We've told you how to get here. Yeah. Now it's time for a break.
So we're offshore, heading east, offshore from Macy, wanting to keep on going.
Yep, okay.
The dogs want to do a sharp right-hand turn.
To Macy?
To Macy. We say, "No, Dan, stop, Dan."
All the commands just go out the window. Well,
and the only way we could stop him, we had to get up and run between them and the island. So we're on the shoreward side of the sled, running, and I'll tell you what, that was a sprint because they were moving.
So were you wearing crampons, or you just wearing your boots?
No, just boots.
Okay, because that's just like keeping the grip.
You generally didn't need a good grip on the ice. You got plenty of grip anyway.
What a bunch of bastards you are.
We were.
We'd been running for 35 miles. The poor dogs.
Eventually, when we got past Macy, he resigned himself that we're going to the Rookery. Anyway, we're approaching the Rookery, and we said, "I wonder what's beyond the Rookery."
Oh, that's an interesting point, isn't it? Because you go to the Rookery.
That's right.
That's it. No, where's another one?
There's still plenty of daylight.
Oh, I forgot the dogs.
Let's just have a bit of a tour around beyond the Rookery and see what it looks like.
With the dogs?
With the dogs.
Okay, right.
Guess what?
Yep.
Dan wasn't having a bar of it.
He's getting the strikers out there.
You know, if dogs can go on strike, they would have.
Yeah.
So we had to again sprint beside them to keep them going the way we wanted them to go. This was a battle of wills. Anyway, we did get past the rookery and we had a good look around, surrounded by icebergs of all sorts of shapes, all sorts of colours.
The dog's going, oh, is this what you're coming for?
Dogs really weren't concerned about how nice the icebergs were.
No, absolutely not.
But anyway, we did for, I don't know, half an hour or an hour or something like that. Well, we got back and the rookery
To Macy Island. Oh, sorry, no,
No,
to Rookery.
to the rookery.
Oh, sorry, yeah, okay.
By this time, the weather was fantastic. It was all warmer. The dogs were actually overheating by this time.
So what does a dog look like when it's overheating? Is it panting?
Panting like mad.
Okay, so that's a really interesting sign
Yeah,
to
and
see.
you would have to stop frequently to give them so they could have a drink wherever you found suitable.
Good snow.
Good snow. Yeah, you didn't want salty snow. You want fresh snow.
See, that's local knowledge.
Yeah.
Knowing what to look for.
Yeah.
And knowing that dogs need to be hydrated because it's so dry.
Yeah, very important actually.
And what do you guys do for dry hydration? You just have a bottle or
Yeah,
something?
we had flasks of water.
Okay.
We did. Occasionally you did eat snow.
Yeah.
It was been known to do that, but you couldn't do too much because snow has a lot of latent heat drainage that sucks the energy out of you. There's what's called latent energy that comes off the snow before it even changes temperature.
That's a really interesting thing that it actually.
So you can eat a certain amount of snow, but you do it too much and you'll get hypothermic very quickly.
Yeah, well, the dogs seem to be able to handle it quite.
Doesn't worry them.
Yeah, because they've got obviously a different
Yeah,
anatomy.
they're quite different when it comes to the environment. It's just that they never cease to amaze me from that respect.
And how they adapted so well.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're back. We've gone to the rookery, taking more photographs. Because
Now this time the dogs, they flop down, and of course the penguins are so spread out, they're all around us.
because the thing's expanded now, isn't it?
expanded a lot.
Yeah.
And the penguins, some of them were half the size of the adults, maybe even bigger. A foot or so high.
Fluffy.
And
They're fluffy.
they're still fluffy.
Yeah.
And they're being herded around in much bigger schools.
Creches.
Creches, if you will.
Yeah.
And it was quite fascinating to see the difference. It was a very different rookery at that time of year. And of
the
course,
smell's picking up now too.
it smells picking
Yeah, it's
up.
getting sloshy.
And other wildlife.
So they're coming now. So
Yes.
in November,
Yeah.
they started to come in.
So the Adelies were coming up through the seal holes.
Okay, that's what we're talking about, the seals, because it's thinner.
Yeah, ice is thinner, and
Yep.
the seals, of course, as you know, they have to breathe air.
Yeah.
So they would carve with their teeth, swaying their head from side to side. That's how they
I was
made
just trying to, when I read that, I was just trying to
Yeah.
think of how it looks to burrow through the first time, or do they maintain them?
They probably use tide cracks
Yep.
to start it.
Because you'd have to breathe to get up there.
Yeah, and then they get up, and then yes, they're constantly being maintained. Now, I've watched them do that, and there's blood spurting everywhere,
Yeah.
and didn't worry them. And of course, as they get older, because they're doing this, their teeth wear down, and
Yeah.
sometimes their teeth just about disappear.
But it's essential they have to do that.
They have
And
to do
obviously, the other animals live on.
Yes, the penguins
yeah.
use the seal holes.
Yeah, which is
Perfect
a cheeky way of doing it, isn't it?
Now, I think probably at this time of year also, most of those penguins would be the females. Because they come
Okay, they would
back.
have transferred.
They come back from the ice edge,
Yep.
fully
fully
fed.
fed. Beaches.
And poor old dad staggers off to the ice edge to replenish himself.
Yeah.
And then the females take over, rearing the kids.
Once they get to the edge of the sea ice, are there schools of different fish and squid and things like that and krill within the area? Because Dad, having spent months feeding these chicks, would, like you said, be quite emaciated. Whether he'd have the energy, jump in the water and go and find some food, because they have to work pretty hard.
They did.
Yeah.
Every year they did the same thing.
So it's Mum's turn. She's got the chicks are getting older and more demanding, I suppose. And
what's really funny was when you see some of the sooky chicks, they decide they want to get back to their original nesting spot.
yeah, Mum.
So they crawl on Mum or Dad's feet and try and get the blubber to cover them. And of course it didn't work.
Yeah, 'cause
You see half a chick poking out and Mum and Dad, get off, you rotten little thing.
But the other thing is, can you tell the difference between a male and female adult?
I couldn't.
You could, but
They all look alike. They come back and they mate year after year with the same bird.
yeah.
How they tell that, I got no idea. But and they might think we all look alike.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. So the chicks are getting older, and like you said, the other animal migrations are coming in.
Yes.
So why would they be coming to their rookery? You know, why pucker off? You know.
Well, the skuas come in because they prey off.
Those chicks are fairly big by now.
Yeah, they'd be hard put to try and kill a chick by this time. But there's all the eggs that never hatched.
Yeah.
And I suppose, although I hated the skuas,
yeah,
like all scavengers, they're important to the ecology to clean everything up.
So the dealies are coming in through the holes of the seals. Why are the seals coming in?
I don't know. They just do.
So they just a crowd. So it becomes a crowd of seals, dealies, emperors.
Mostly emperors, but there's a fair amount of seals hanging about and a number of adeles hanging about as well.
Are the seals breeding by this time or have had babies? I don't
know. Probably. I'm not sure. I'm just trying to remember.
Because it seems like it's like all of a sudden this is metropolitan thing with all these different animals. A couple of humans turn up with a couple of dogs, and there's seals, and there's everything having a great time.
That's exactly right.
You know, and the seals have to.
Weather's fine and beaut.
I was thinking whether or not you'd, as a part of the survival gear, to have a fishing line. So if you got those holes.
Did we have fishing lines with us?
Because you don't know,
but I never used.
You don't bring guns. Nobody brings guns down there.
That's right.
Because you're not in the north, in the Arctic. Everybody's got a gun.
Yeah.
But in the south, it's not necessary.
Well, there's no predators except perhaps orcas, maybe. You can move a lot faster than seal on land.
Okay, because
if you're in the water, different.
All of a sudden, you've got these massive colony, and the colony has expanded.
Yeah.
So did you count them this time?
No.
So they give you this picture. Please count penguins. Yeah. So
great day.
Great day.
Had a look around.
And you hadn't been back to Macy Island, and you're coming back to the rookery. Creches of kids.
Yeah, with only two of us, of course. We could leave whenever we wanted, didn't have to consult the others.
Yeah.
So we're back to Macy for an overnighter. And even there, it was just a nice night, very little wind. You could see the pink hues over everything. And we went for a bit of a wander around with our cameras, take photos all around Macy. It was just one of those magic days.
Starry night? Because you forget to tell us about the starry nights.
But at this time, nights were starting to get short, so... And dusks are very long periods of time.
You wouldn't get that just black and just the sky full of...
No, you're used to New Guinea where... You
wouldn't see the sky.
1 minute it's daylight and the next minute it's dark.
Yeah.
It's quite the opposite down there. The dusk lasts a long time.
Drags on.
Yeah. Anyway, we had great night, relaxed. Off the next morning. Well, actually, it wasn't straight off the next morning. When we woke up, it was windy and miserable out. It wasn't a full-blown storm. It was just a bit miserable and high wind. But it's very common what happens in that area. So we just thought, oh, well, we're not in a mad rush. There's enough daylight. So we waited till about midday when the wind died down.
Okay. Well,
Headed up.
I thought it was going to be another disaster.
We don't believe in disaster.
No. Now you're running on the ice again. And now the ice is much thinner because, we're getting towards summertime now.
Yeah.
So is it becoming a bit more dicey?
Well, you did have to keep your eye out and make sure, that you weren't going over really thin ice. You could tell generally from the colour of the ice.
So what's a thin ice look? It's like white, clear, isn't it?
No, thin ice is generally dark blue, dark grey blue.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Whereas a thicker ice was much lighter. In general.
And with the dogs also, you've got that extra
and
layer of safety because the dogs, I'm not going in there.
Exactly. If they thought it was dangerous, they wouldn't go.
Do dogs fall in the water and do they sort of get up, shake themselves off and they'll be fine?
If a dog fell in the water, you'd probably want to get something out and help dry them off.
Yeah, because they're freeze on that thing.
Yeah, never happened our year. I think it might have happened a few times.
Because they're not renowned for being swimming dogs, are they?
No.
But the point is, it's not something that the dogs would do normally, jump in the water like
they would not
like
jump
crazy
in the water. The only reason they go in the water is with an accident, which never happened, luckily.
Yeah.
So we had a good trip back.
Okay. Come on, Phil, you can't have these good trips.
I'm sorry, we did.
It's just not fair.
And we didn't go for any record because we're having too good a time. We'd stop, dogs could have a drink while we went and investigated seal holes. You'd look down them, and occasionally, I think one time, a penguin shot up over the top of me.
That must be a shocking and hard.
What was that?
Yeah.
Another time, I'm just there trying to get a photo of down a hole, and something's rubbing up against me. What's that?
It's a dog. No, it's Gloom.
It wasn't Gloom. It was a seal pup.
Oh, okay.
Wanting to play.
Whoa, where did that? How come you didn't see it?
Well, because I was focused down the seal hole.
But you must be able to see seals around.
Well, there were seals around. We didn't take it much notice until this pup came right up to me. That never happened before.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh, let's have a game with this seal pup.
I was trying to
get my hat on him, but
okay.
he wouldn't let me. He'd move his head.
Yeah.
Next minute, you know, Mum appears.
Does she come out of a hole, or did she just sort of...
Just appeared from nowhere.
Oh, Jesus.
And she was not happy.
What are you doing? Now, this is what sort of penguin? Seal?
Weddell seal.
So they're fairly big?
Weddell seals are big, fat, blubbery grey things.
Mm-hmm.
And they're strictly Antarctic. You very rarely see them on the sub-Antarctic islands.
So he sort of come and bear at you, or...
No, he waddled coming at me trying to attack. But of course, you can move a lot faster, as I said.
I'm faster than you.
Than a Weddell seal, so it was no drama. And then when you're far enough away, she didn't bother anymore.
Did you take a photograph of that? Because you had your camera with you.
I think I might have.
Were you too busy running away, were you?
No, I think I might have a movie shot of that seal coming at me. I don't know what would happen if it caught me, but I wasn't going to find out either. Yeah. But that was all interesting. We had a good time. There was still a bit of daylight left when we got back.
I suppose that's one of the things you get used to the winter time where there's less daylight, so you start to get tired and sleepy. Now there's so much daylight.
Anyway, we got home. People helped us get the dogs settled. No, they're pretty good down there.
That's also because they want to have a pat the dog.
So that was the day, almost done.
Oh dear. Now come on, what's next?
Well, we always do. We go up to the kitchen or the dining room, yarn and drink and eat.
That's it?
That's it.
That's it?
No dramas.
No dramas. Now, Adelie penguins, how big are they? They're about...
Yeah, they'd be over a foot. Yeah.
Okay, so they're also... Would they be breeding around that sort of time, or have they finished?
No, they breed a little bit later. So they were coming up to Adelie penguin breeding season by this time.
So that's interesting that the emperor penguins breed in the middle of winter, or they hatch in the middle of winter. The Adelies are started later, and I don't know when the seals will be breeding. You got
they're probably somewhere starting to breed around that time as well. But the reason the emperors breed earlier is because they're such big birds. It takes quite a while for the chicks to grow up, and they have to be fully grown by the next winter. Otherwise, they won't survive.
And the other thing is, as you said before, the predatory things, the skuas and things like that, can't get down there.
That's right.
Until a certain period of time where the chicks are old enough to be able to fend for themselves mostly.
Yeah. As opposed to the Adelies, they're battling the skuas all the time.
Where would the seals be pupping? Do they come up on land, or they're just on sea ice?
I think they're just on the sea ice.
Because you said that the Weddell seals, they live in that area. In that suburb.
Yeah, and they would probably have to go out to the ice edge to feed in winter. They would have to, because otherwise they wouldn't survive. But yeah, in the summer they come in. I think they breed on the sea ice, and they have something like a 50% mortality rate. So there's a lot of dead seal pups around.
Yeah, because I suppose it's a pretty hostile environment.
That's a brutal environment.
Beautiful, but real.
Yeah.
There's no sugarcoating it. The obvious question to ask is, did you ever go again?
No.
So 1, 2, 3. You must have been a legend there. You didn't just go to the rookery anymore. You went beyond the rookery.
I wasn't aware of any legendary.
There's some sort of thing on the notice board saying Phil Peach Walter, legendary third-time rookery man.
Others did go out on the skidoos. Of course, on a skidoo, it's a pretty easy trip.
Yeah.
As opposed to the dogs.
I suppose you have to take the logistics of taking extra fuel, and it's a noisy.
That's right. It's not a peaceful travelling.
Well, I suppose the first time you went on one, it wasn't peaceful.
There's no romance and aesthetic appeal when you're on a skidoo.
That would be an interesting picture for you to do, a night shot of the dogs howling, in the full moon in the background.
That would have looked good, that's true. But no, I didn't.
No full moon.
Yeah.
Did they howl on that the third trip?
Probably. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But that's it.
That's it. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening and watching and reminiscing with Phil again on his great adventures in Antarctica. the Auster Rookery, 1976.
Correct.
Apparently it's still there, in the same location. So let's conclude that. We'll have some lunch. Okay, and 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
We got that one exactly right.
That's right.